Our next speaker is Jimmy Baird, who is an extremely experienced and capable designer with a combination of strong decision thinking and technical acumen. Known for his ability to effectively explore and demonstrate ideas, he ensures concepts transition successfully from design to execution. Jimmy was a co-founder of NZXR. By the way, let's give it up for NZXR. They've been such awesome supporters of the scene here in so many ways. I see Kira everywhere, James at Wellingtaru. Guys have done so much cool shit. And of course, that was required by Niantic. Through its evolution into Niantic Spatial, he operates at the frontier of augmented reality and artificial intelligence, shaping how spatial computing becomes play. This is not an exaggeration. They're doing cutting-edge shit there. His work transforms experimental AR, AI, and real-world mapping technologies into meaningful, player-centered experiences that point toward the future of interactive entertainment. Give it up for Jimmy Baird!
Wow, thank you very much. I must have wrote that while I was drunk. Cool. Speaking of which, here are my most three hated questions at a pub. First one is, where are you from? Second one is, what do you do? Third one is, what do your tattoos mean? First one, where are you from? I don't like answering it because I'm Australian. That gets me in trouble. Third one, what do your tattoos mean? I once made someone vomit explaining that. And then, what do you do? That always kind of stumps me because we get into this bit where it's just like, I don't really want to tell you, or I will eventually kind of get into the bit where I'm like, I make video games, or I'm a game designer, or something like that. And then the questions come. It's like, do you design the story? And I'm like, no, I design the game. And they're like, oh, do you draw the characters? And once again, I'm like, no, I design the game. And I appreciate that it's kind of sweet, ignorant small talk just to kind of get the ball rolling on the next kind of bit of the interview. What else? Oh, thank you. You made the text larger. Sorry. At some point, I might say something like, pretend there was one person that invented football, and how did they go about it? That's kind of what I do. But sometimes I feel like people think all the games just exist and no new ones can be made, right? They're all just kind of out there. They just emerge as well, which is kind of true. So when we're making a game, maybe we're just making a fresh product on top of an existing game. And so for this talk, we have to separate the game from the product, right? The product, I'm gonna move this. Product is all the stuff you put in the box. The game is the thing you play. The product is the medium, it is the board, it is the field. It's the cards, it's the software, but the medium is not the game. The game is projected by the participants onto the medium. It is the continued exploration of collective behavior. We build the medium, players build the game. The game is intangible, the medium is tangible. The participants are inventing a new instance of the game every single time they play it. There is the game and the medium and the product. We build the medium, the players build the game. So also, I feel like a whole bunch of our C-level suite don't know what a fucking game is either. And we can see that in coming through. Everyone gets fired, layoffs. They follow industry trends that just don't measure up. Studios close. It just makes me mad, very mad. It's like recently, it's like $200 million just to fucking turn off some servers. It's like, you fucking what, mate? Fucking hell. $200 million just to turn off some servers. Give me $200 million. I'll look after it. Anyway, my name is Jimmy Baird. I make games. Here are my credentials. As was stated before, I currently work at Niantic Spatial, but I've worked at Magic Leap, with a workshop. I started a record label once. I closed that record label. Point of this is that my passion is making people smile and bringing people together. It's just like I don't really want to be there all the time when it happens. All right, let's get into it. Running, 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 and running. What do these 5 distinct words have in common? Running. Ooh, didn't press the button. All right, so we have running the toy. Now bear with me, that sounds fucking weird. All right, but You can just run, not somewhere, not nowhere. There's no goal, there's no nothing. There's nothing that tells you to stop. There's no destination. You're not running from something, you're not running to something. You're just running. It's the exploration of legs. But that goes into the fact that you kind of can't make a game without a toy. We'll get into why that is soon. But the toy industry has this really brilliant word, and I'm going to steal it. It originally describes the suitability of a media property to generate merchandise, and that word is toyetic. So, for example, Star Wars is highly toyetic, but something like Kevin Costner's Field of Dreams isn't, because it's just a bunch of corn and dead baseball players. But I feel like we can do so much more with this word. An object isn't automatically a toy. It is the manifestation of the participant onto an object in order to understand and explore the inherent properties, functions, and behaviors of the object. How toyetic an object is could be described as the suitability for an object to become a toy, or at least allow the participant to display toying behaviors, which is kind of just fucking around with something, really, like a fidget spinner. To toy with something is to discover its toyeticism, which is a word I made up. It is play unbounded, unrestricted, and unending. Nothing tells you to stop. Man, this button's tough. The toy is, in a video game setting, the toy is the liminal space between the participant, the controller, and the screen. It's a big feedback loop, but I don't believe that aptly describes what is happening. The participant is wagering that by performing a particular physical motion, it will have the predicted outcome or sequence on the screen. Oh God, this is going to be a gross slide. It is a anticipation tunnel. It is a metaphysical connection with the inanimate. That is what they are creating. A cool example of kind of how to make this happen is that in Super Mario 64, we got lots of retro examples in this. Team spent several months just refining Mario's control without any enemies or objectives in the level. It was just running, jumping, swimming, and just making sure they were fun on their own. These days that would be codified as a gym. There's heaps of other words for it, but your grade box levels or something like that. But you would have an easy way to change this environment with make a lot of variety and some debug options that change the data and the variables while the game is in session. Okay, there's running the activity. You want to get somewhere fast, you can just run there. You can run to somewhere, you can run from somewhere. Running as an activity has a goal, a designated endpoint. When you have reached the destination, you have completed the running, and you can stop running. Running was useful, running has now become useless. In this context, we could say that an activity is constraining the use of a toy to a dedicated behavioral access with an extrinsic stopping point, a goal, or an objective. The reason to stop exists outside from the toy. The participant is using the toy in a specific useful way that helps achieve the objective. Chopping an onion. Now, I wouldn't usually say that a knife and an onion are traditional toys, right? Because they'll both make you cry. But the participation in the activity ends when the onion has become onions. The knife and the onion stop being toys and return to being objects. The activity ceases to exist. The onion is chopped, the objective was met. That's my signal to drink water. Objects aren't toys until the participant projects the toy onto the object. That's what I'm trying to say. This means you need some kind of interaction. So activities are kind of the combination of combining multiple toying behaviors, like the fidget spinning and all that kind of stuff. We can see this easily in numerous real-time video games. In the hit online game World of Warcraft, you can cast spells or actions at enemies or other players. You can also run to a destination. And in Street Fighter, you have fights using the toys of punches, kicks, and special moves. In tabletop games, you roll the dice to move tokens, and in card games, you shuffle and deal cards. Oh, and in Formula One, you drive a car around a track. These are all activities that combine one or more toys to achieve a basic activity. Toys aren't useful in an activity until they're giving purpose, is essentially what I'm trying to say. Press the button. We also have running the game. So who can run a specific distance to a specific destination in the quickest time, usually with simultaneous competition from other participants trying to accomplish the same activities within the same restrictions. That's it, that's the whole game of running. But more importantly, it's an abstract layer put on top of an activity that reduces its usefulness but increases its importance. Before, running had a point, but now it's critical that I get to a destination before the other participants, for no other reason than to prove I'm faster than them. Kind of the definitions of a game, they make me like fake mad, like kind of upset. And this is kind of the crux of why I'm giving this talk. The word has its roots in fun and joy, participation, and together. Dictionary does an okay job at defining it, but I've just got a couple of definitions I got from Wikipedia. Sid Meier's definition is one of the most famous ones. A game is a series of interesting decisions, but so is ordering a sandwich at Subway. It only describes the act of playing the game, right? It gives me no information about how to make one. There's some other definitions. Everything gets reasonably close to satisfy my kind of bullshit criteria, but I would like to get some more I'd like to codify it more so that someone reading it can go on to make a game without kind of being like, what's the goal? It's like, well, it's baked into the activity, fuckwit. Fine. Go. So what is a game? It's simply any activity you can win, or rather, any set of activities where participation stops after a win condition is met. And that's really critical that it has that win condition in there. Because imagine playing football without the ability to win. You'd be passing the ball around, doing fucking nothing. In video games, it's not when the activities come to a natural rest. It's when external conditions have been met. So in the Street Fighter example, it's when your opponent's health has reached 0 and yours has not. In F1, it's when you are first to complete the lap count. In Monopoly, it's when you have all the assets and all of the money. In Super Mario Brothers, it's when you reach the flagpole. But these are simple games with obvious activities and obvious win conditions. And what if I told you there's another layer? Running is also a sport. But what defines a sport? I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. Most people would say that it has to have like some kind of physical activity. But most people skip over the glaring obvious point that a sport has to have a game. Running has to have running. The sport of men's 100-meter run has to have the game 100-meter run. The NBA has to have basketball. Major League Baseball has to have baseball. And with this piece of information, I can say that a sport is any 2 or more instances of the same game that can be compared. So we can compare your child's game of basketball to the Chicago Bulls 1993 Game 6. It would be deeply unfair, but we can do it. What we can't do is we can't compare baseball to basketball. It has to be the same game. So sport is the supporting and organizational strata that records and measures the outcomes of a game and its participants. You can play a sport. Sport is also the game. Sport is competition. Sport is mostly physical, but these definitions don't go away, but these definitions don't help us add new sports. They don't help us create one. They don't help us break down these well-established complex things. In video games, you often hear this kind of concept described as a game loop or a meta game. It most certainly isn't referred to as a sport. However, it definitely is the supporting strata that enables more instances of the individual games. So another World of Warcraft example, Attacking an enemy with your abilities is an activity. It is that kind of toying behavior constrained to a single axis of behavior. You're only going to cast spells at your enemies. You're going to press those keys in the right order. Once the opponent reaches 0 health, that kind of combat game is won. Experience points will be awarded. Using these experience points, players can gain further character levels, unlock further skills that enable richer combat experience, improving the game of combat, enabling participants to compare. That certainly sounds like a sport to me. Sounds like everything the NBA does with its players and games. The only trouble is that you are building the sport in the software, in step with the game, when your software is supposed to manage thousands of games still in development, like you're still developing the game or you're making the structure around it. And then we have running the Olympic category. This is kind of like the sport of sports, and we're getting quite silly right now. But it's the place where multiple instances of different games can be compared so that a larger ensemble of teams, the team of teams, can win. If you don't know, the Olympics has countries compete in many sports across many categories. Each sport can have a gold, silver, or bronze medal winner representing first, second, and third nations. A nation's reputation depends on these feats of strength to collect the most gold medals, followed by a total overall. While you can't win the Olympics, it most certainly seems like it. Collect the most medals from the most sports. There are similarities in video games in this regard, where we see players participate in orthogonal activities or orthogonal games that have different win conditions that are managed separately, but all converge to a single metric. So another, if I can Warcraft one again. It comes to mind because there's obviously the combat game that everyone plays, but your characters can become, specialized in professions like herbalism or engineering or something like that, which don't directly influence combat at all, but overall improve the character and the player experience into a single point of focus, just like a medal tally. That's where the analogy ends. It just gets fucking stupid if it's the Olympics of the Olympics. Anyway, this is what I call the life cycle of toy. It takes the simplest of behaviors and directs them into competition that enables people to gather and collaborate. It is truly powerful. It moves entire friend groups, cultures, towns, cities, and countries. Recently went to see the Warriors versus the Dolphins at the stadium, and there's fucking 33,000 people just watching the ball. They don't even get to touch it. So we've explored some definitions and how does that help? Because the definitions are abstract. Maybe it can help you find your way. You can associate your problems with each stage in this kind of life cycle. But what we can kind of see is that they're all sets of each other. The Olympics is a set of sports. Sport is a set of games. A game is a set of activities. And an activity is a set of toys. A toy is a set of behaviors, stuff that you're just kind of fiddling with. And you're making software that reflects this. So, do you have a problem with the metagame? Then you have a problem with the supporting structure for the participants in the games. Maybe people aren't completing the loop and the win condition is unobtainable and needs work. Perhaps the quest givers in the game need to be clearer and set clear goals for the player. Perhaps the moment-to-moment gameplay involves boring activities that have become chores. Where did I get up to? And perhaps the original toying behaviors lose their novelty quickly and the controls need to be easier but allowing for more depth. How do you make your software reflect this kind of paradigm? Let me introduce you to NEAT. It's a cool acronym. It stands for Stop Fucking Putting Shit in Your Game. But neat games are just that. They're just neat games. What I mean by that is neat is the ratio for the most interactions for the least assets. It's part focusing on the right things and spending your time and your budget wisely. Don't keep making the wrong things. Keep making things that have a natural gravitation, things that players gravitate towards, things for the players to do, things for the players to play with. You shouldn't be scared of assets. You can have as many as you like. You can have as many unnecessary things as you like. It's still your time and your money. But if they hold little to no interactive value, then why are they in the game and why are you asking people to make them? How do you discover the interactive value? It's repetition. Console developers talk about the core loop. Robot games talk about the big loop or whatever. It's all just a little magic trick that gets people to perform the same behaviors over and over without noticing in the pursuit of progress. The loop will go through the entire life cycle of the toy, but it might do it like quite fluidly. It'll start with the toy, move up to the activity, back to the toy, back to the activity, maybe up to the game, then finally into the sport, and then back to the toy once kind of play resumes. The interactive value of every asset you put in the game is quite fluid in this regard. The toy, start with the toy. Is the toy good enough? Is it sticky? Is it chewy? How do you extend the life of a toy? Invest in trying to make activities and find those behaviors to exploit. And I use the word exploit in the good way, not the bad way. Create interactive challenges for that behavior. Really extrapolate and exploit those behaviors. Put them to the test. Make them as granular as possible. Ooh, button. Like another example for an activity. Is it like a Super Mario example? I don't have any pictures for it. But you got like a coin block that's not super interactive. You have like a Goomba that runs back and forth, and you have a Koopa Trooper. The coin block, the whole toy of Super Mario is jumping, but the activity is jumping on things. So Mario might jump on the coin block. The Goomba is a moving target. The Koopa Trooper involves like maybe 2 jumps because the shell can move and kind of hit you. So Mario has to jump like twice the work. There's kind of mastery at work, just in the very slightest way. But the idea is that it's creating the simple escalation that asks the player to achieve mastery. The game, how do I enable players to win? The goals are embedded in the interaction and the body language of the activity. The win condition needs to be more overt. What you want with the win condition is something that increases the stakes of performing the activity well. These things can be more structural, layered over the top, like a time limit. This is like an easy one. Or they can be more diegetic. The time limit can be represented by the moon falling down, something in world that the players can react to. The sport of it, how do you reward players and improve their mastery while comparing the last game's play to the upcoming games being prepared? What do you need to add or change to improve the base activities? How can you heighten the game's condition in order to improve mastery? What can you compare to make the game better? And then the Olympics. If you ever get here, how do all these orthogonal activities, games, and sports come together to make one complete, tangible success metric? Why are you getting all your players to do all this weird bullshit? Your game, your product, your medium doesn't need all your ideas. It just needs your good ones. And the good ideas are the ones that service the player or service your ability to make the product. It is the great work of ages. The game is free, but the medium is not. It took centuries, decades to make chess, basketball, cricket, football, rugby, Monopoly, table tennis, Minecraft, Dungeons & Dragons, Super Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog, Halo, Tetris, Pong, pinball, the rest of all the popular games that we know. For some of them, they exist after centuries, but remember that for all your ideas about a game, you are the facilitator of the medium, and it's your responsibility to present the game in the best light within that medium, because maybe all the games just exist already. But I just have this feeling that no one knows what a game is. Maybe that's okay. That's it for now. But also, you can go to my website, ilovejimmybaird.com. You can get yourself some shirts, some merch, some pajamas. Those are real shirts. And that's it.